continuation of semiconductor in that p-n junction. What is p-n junction? We'll see. It is a single crystal of germanium or silicon which is doped in such a manner that one half portion of it acts as a p-type semiconductor and another half is act as a n-type semiconductor. The symbol which you are seeing, that is anode and cathode, that is the circuit symbol of a p-n junction diode. So the direction of the arrow which is from the p region to n region, the arrow which is indicates the direction which conversion current flow through that, right? And the formation of the depletion layer or depletion region and the potential barrier in the p-n junction. As we said, the p-n junction, it is a single crystal of germanium or silicon, and the p which shows the p-type semiconductor, one half portion is a p-type semiconductor, another half portion is a n-type semiconductor. And here we have taken a p-type silicon semiconductor wafer and added it to a small quantity of pentavalent impurity. A part of the PSI wafer gets it's converted into NSI wafer. Is it right? By seeing the diagram itself, you people may understood. And now the majority charge carriers begin to diffuse from the regions of higher concentration to the regions of the lower concentrations due to the potential barrier. What we are seeing, the potential barriers from higher to lower, it is diffusing. So the electrons from the n region diffuse into the p region, and where they can combine with the holes and get neutralized. The same way, the holes from the p region which gets diffused into the n region, where they combine with the electrons and get neutralized. So this process we can call it as a electron hole recombination. Now the p region near the junction is left with the immobile of negative ions, and then n region near the junction left with the positive ions. So we can call it as that it is a depletion layer. That means the small region in the vicinity of the junction which is depleted of free charge carriers and has only immobile ions, that we can call it as, that region is called as a depletion layer, right? Now the accumulation of negative charge in the p region and the positive charges in the region of setup, the potential differences across the junction, this only acts as a barrier, and we can call it as a barrier potential of VB or balancing band. And the barrier potential which is depends on the nature of the semiconductor, and we can see the temperature, the amount of doping, right? And how it is working, the p-n junction, how it is working, we can say. See, an external potential difference can be applied to p-n junction in two ways. First, we must know that two ways we can apply the potential difference. So one we can call it as a forward biasing, another one is the reverse biasing. Now we will see what is forward biasing. If the positive terminal of a battery which is connected to a p-type and negative terminal to the n-type, then we can call it as a p-n junction of forward biased. See, the effective barrier decreases to VB to V, right? That is the balancing, balancing bond to that charge carriers, it moves. So hence the energy barriers across the junction will decrease. Then we will take here the majority charge carriers, that is holes from p-type to electron and electron from n-type, begins to flow towards the junction. So the diffusion of the electrons and the holes into the depletion layer, what will happen, decreases its width, and the effective resistance across the p-n junction automatically get decreases, right? So when V exceeds VB, The majority charge carriers starts flowing easily across the junction, and the setup of a large current called the forward current in the circuit. So the current get increases with the increase in the applied voltage. That way only the forward bias is working. The reverse bias, we can see the reverse bias, which is nothing but if the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the N side of the negative terminal of P side, right? Positive battery to N side, negative terminal to P side. So that we can say PN junction of reverse bias. As we are seeing on that diagram, the applied voltage V and the barrier potential are the same direction, right? And the barrier potential increases so that the energy barriers across the junction will also increase. Then the majority charge carriers moves away from the junction. So what will happen? It will increase the width. It will get increase. So width will get increasing of the depletion layer. The resistance of the BN junction, what will happen? It will be becoming very large. So because of that, no current flows across the junction due to the majority charge carriers. So, at room temperature, there are always present some minority charge carriers like holes in N region, electrons in P region. So what will happen? The reverse bias pushes them towards the junction. So it will set up the current, which is called, we can call it as a reverse or a leakage current, right? What is the VI characteristics of the PN junction diode? As we said, the forward bias and as well as the reverse bias we have to see. The forward bias, the circuit you are seeing on the screen. See, we have to do the experimental arrangement, and if you refer the practicals of the PN junction video in our physics, you may get clear idea about how to do the PN junction as forward bias and the reverse bias. The working as we explained in that way, and the forward bias characteristics which we can say it will give the forward bias, right? The battery which is connected across the PN junction diode through the rheostat. So for different values of voltage, the value of current we can note, and the graph of between V and I, if we plotted, we will get the voltage current graph, which we can call it as a forward characteristic. And the important features of the graph we will say, and reverse bias diagram also you may see in that way. This will help to study the characteristics curve for the PN junction when it is reversed. So the microammeter is used to measure the small current through the reverse bias. See, we can analyze the graph. As we said, the important features of the VI graph, and first point, that is it is not straight line, and a junction diode does not obey the Ohm's law, right? And initially what is happening, the current increases very slowly, almost negligible, until the voltage across the diode crosses a certain value that we can call it as a threshold voltage or a cut-in voltage. This voltage, the depletion layer plays a dominant role, right? And after the cutoff, the cut-in or threshold voltage, the diode current increases rapidly even for a very small increase in the diode bias voltage. The resistance across the junction becomes quite low. These are all the things which is for the forward bias, right? For the reverse bias, if you have seen, a very small current, about a few microamperes flows, right? And we can say that is almost remains constant with the bias. And the small current, we can call it as a reverse saturation current, right? When the reverse voltage across the PN junction reaches a sufficiently high value, the reverse current suddenly increases to the large value. This voltage is breakdown voltage, that is only the Zener. that Zener breakdown voltage we can say, or peak increase voltage, right? Thank you, children.